Okay, so this is on how to change outlet. This is live right now, meaning there's power running through these wires that go in here, that go into the box to power this outlet. You can use a basic tester, something like this, to this. This is an outlet analyzer. It tells you if it's wired correctly or backwards. You want 2 orange lights in a row, and that means correct. Tells you open ground, open neutral, open hot, hot ground reverse, hot neutral, reverse, and then correct. You can see this is wired correctly. There's 2 orange lights right here. I don't know if you can see. Let's see, let's turn that on. There you go, you can kind of see it. This outlet's being powered off of a switch that runs up this one wire. So we're going to do this not live, we're going to do this de-energized. So get yourself a little $5 tester like this that's just a neon bulb. Doesn't matter what socket or what side goes to what. Put one in the long socket first, and then one in the smaller socket, not as tall. And you can see it has that light, that red light that comes on. That means there's power. So we're gonna de-energize it, turning the breaker off. Okay. If you wanted to get fancy, use a non-contact voltage tester, which I'll show you how to use too. Now, we go back to test. I obviously know it's off because this is a demonstration board and it has a plug, and I just unplug it. Okay. On the right tool. So now we're going to carefully take off. You can also check for power by going into the skinnier slot and the igloo slot. If there's power, there would be the light, and you can test for ground that way too, which I'll show you once I energize the circuit with the new outlet. So carefully take your cover plate off. And you see there's 2 tabs right here on the screws. You can check for power there. And if it was on, I'm going to plug it back in to turn it on briefly. If it was on, your light would light up. You test for ground too, so it's grounded. Turn the circuit off. For this part, taking the screws out, you can use a drill. I just put it on 5 out of 19 settings, 18 torque and drill on this drill. And I only use it to put outlets in new work and take devices out. So first, I'm going to loosen this up some. Now that we test it for power, you want to hold it by the yoke, which is, these things are called the yoke. You don't want to grab it like this, like I'm doing, and pull out. And you don't want to touch the yoke and the screws at the same time. Okay, so you can see at least they wired it with the screws going around the wires going around the terminals. I don't like doing it this way, using the outlet as a junction to continue on, because it goes on to another box off camera. I like to do pigtails, so we'll show you that too. So we're going to disconnect this outlet. Put on a really low torque setting on 5 so it doesn't break the screws. Oops, like that. Like I don't want to take the screws out. This is a demonstration outlet, so it's kind of beat to hell anyway. Just screw that in some. There we go. Fixed it. You'll see that it made a complete loop around the screw too. They already pigtailed the grounds where you can see the ground coming in and ground going out, and one wire did go to the outlet, so that's good. Okay. So, what a pigtail is just like how the ground wire is. So I'm going to cut these loops off because we have enough wire. And restrip. This ground wire we can push back into the box because that's done with, and that still keeps a loop for this ground screw. Now this outlet, instead of wrapping the screws around the terminal, has flaps. Where did I put the screwdriver? The combination screwdriver. So we're going to use one set of screws. We're going to look on the back for a strip gauge. Okay. I like that type because if I have to do it live, it's easier to hook. And technically by code, this is against code having that much insulation in, but since it's just a demonstration board, I'm going to leave it. But if it was in an actual house, I would fix it. So now we're going to hook up our wires to the outlet, or bare copper, or goes to our green wire goes to our green screw, which is our ground. These I'm going to strip more because we have to make the pigtails. So I don't want to lose the outlet, so that's why I connect the ground. And I have an extra piece of wire here. Come on. I'm going to get a wire nut ready. There we go. Now we line up our neutrals, which is our white wire, and we'll trim this. You line them all up to the insulation. You want to leave your pigtails nice and long until you trim them. Push this in the back of the box. Trim of the outlet. Voila. Now our neutral's done. And this goes under the screw terminal. It goes to our silver terminal. Here we go, nice and tight. Now we do the same thing for our black wire. And trim off that very tip. And make sure you don't have insulation under the screw either. Whew. And I push the wires together. I use my volt claw, which is just made for pushing and pulling wires in and out of boxes. And just kind of accordion in the wires. Make sure ground wire isn't near the neutral or hot terminal. Normally the screws would already be attached to the outlet if it's new. Make sure it's snug. There we go. I know it's not a matching screw, but oh well. It's just a demonstration. There you go. That's how you replace the outlet and make it up to code. Also, doing it this way with the pigtails, if those little flaps fail, it's just going to be that outlet and it's going to continue to the next circuit or the next outlet, which in this case, look at the careful, this is live, would be this outlet. But if it was wired the way it was with the old outlet, using the outlet as a junction, it would fail and then this outlet would fail. So, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next vid.